I'm going to briefly introduce myself. I'm Vedang. I'm one of the founders of The Soul Store. Started in 2013, The Soul Store is an online official platform for selling merchandise such as TVs, movie shows, IPL teams, most of your favorite characters from cartoons, and a long list of people that you are probably fans of. What is the strategy for getting key partnerships? I think there isn't a strategy here, particularly that one glove fits all. Key partnerships are very tough to get, especially if that company is much bigger than the startup that you are. And that's where it's not a strategy, but a mindset. That's what brings you success. And that mindset is to be relentless. I think over time, that's also the biggest learning that I've had from working in a startup, that it's so important to be relentless. For example, let's say if you want to partner with a big company, let's say if you want to partner with Google, and you're just a small startup, it's so important to have your value proposition. And trust me when I say this, the first instinct for these big companies is to say no. Why? Because there's tons of different people approaching them every day with some idea or the other, and it's very tough to pick out which ones are the good ones like yours. So you should know firstly that the no is just the beginning of a conversation, and you shouldn't feel rejected by it. And after you get your first no, you show why you can do better than everyone else. You show why your idea is good. You show why partnering with you is the right move for this company. What's the value proposition that you are bringing? And I think being relentless in this matter is what's most important to getting any key partnership. What strategies did I use to execute on minimal cash flows? Wow, this is actually a very tough one because it's not one particular thing that we did. But again, it is an overall collection of ethos that we had on how we would handle our money. That's that saying, "Boon boon se samundar banta hai." It's exactly that. We made sure that there was no expenditure that did not justify the eventual result. For example, if we were going to spend 100 rupees here, it had to be justified on why this 100 rupees was better than spending the 100 rupees on something else, like say marketing or a designer or a website developer. So that thought process was very important to make sure that every decision was taken smartly. We never got carried away with fancy offices or any other cosmetic that didn't really impact the top line. One thing that we did, and this is a force of habit given the fact that I had some finance background, is I used to see that we were profitable on a daily basis. I used to take the monthly rent divided to the day, the monthly salaries divided to the day, that day's marketing expense, that day's sales, that day's cost of goods, and I would be sure that we made a profit. If we made a loss or if we didn't make enough of a profit, I would see where it was wrong. What was the expenditure that didn't make sense? What was the factor that did not have a multiplying effect on the revenue? And I would make the required changes, because it's extremely important to have a business model that has solid unit economics and has longevity in its DNA. What, according to me, should budding entrepreneurs invest their time in, and why? Well, two things. One is invest thoroughly in your idea. It's very important that you question your idea, you test it, not just test it. In fact, you should stress test it, as in, what's the value proposition that I'm building? What am I solving? Why do people need this? Why hasn't it been done till date? And how are you managing to do it when no one else could do it before? All of these need to be questioned. And there's this example. When you're going on a road and you find a gate in the way, eventually most people are like, there's no use of this gate, let's remove it. But it's very important to ask why that gate was there in the first place, and that would give you a reason onto what exactly the customer wants, what cost is he going to pay for it, what would be your cost, and how will you make his life better. That's number one. Number two is, I think it's very important to get some experience of just working in a firm or a business or a unit or something. The reason is, even if it's an internship, if not work experience, and because it's very important to know how businesses just function, how people function, HR policies that are usually just in place and why they are in place. And the thought process here is to just get some months of experience so that you don't have to go back and redesign the wheel and reinvent all these things which are already thought of and are already there for a reason. What are some of the biggest lessons I've learned along the way, and how has it shaped the way I work? Well, I think I'd be doing injustice if I name any one of them, but one of the biggest skills I've picked up, or rather the thought process that has helped me, is everything is figureoutable. In fact, this is one of the company mottos also. In life, there are going to be a lot of challenges, especially at your workplace, and how you deal with this challenge is actually what makes someone successful from not successful. And I'm going to say something which sounds very opposite, but is super true. Failures are a part of your success, because through every failure, you learn something new and you do it better the next time. And it is this thought process that I've learned that, whatever your plan is, and you have something thought out that I'll first do step A, step B, then C will happen, and then eventually D. That doesn't happen in the real world, because in the real world, whatever Excels you have and formulas you have, there are way more variables. Look at our situation today where nobody could really have predicted this COVID pandemic in their business model, but it's there and you have to deal with it. So being agile, knowing that you will still figure out how your business will come out of this and you will pivot in a way which makes sense. Taking these challenges as challenges and not something that bogs you down is one of the biggest thought changes that have helped me throughout. If I was to start over again, what would I do things differently? Well, that depends. If I had to start the business that I have today, I wouldn't start it today. We are successful. But if I started today, it won't be successful because this isn't the right time. And timing is everything. I think there's already an established market that we are part of. If I had to start a new pop culture brand, there would already be competitors that are very well established. So I wouldn't start the same business today. But if I had to go back, there are a lot of things that I would do differently. Number one thing is letting go of doing everything yourself. You will always think you are doing everything the best, and you probably are also. But you'd rather have 10 things being done at 80% than you doing yourself 3 things at 100%. Because as an entrepreneur, you have to step back, you have to delegate work, delegate responsibility, and you have to think more big picture. If you get caught up in the details, you will miss the big picture. You will miss the goal you set out at. The other thing is, we didn't hire, and it's related to this, we didn't hire early on. I would hire much earlier. We started out the business with packing orders ourselves and counting inventory ourselves and doing everything from customer care, and slowly we built a team. I would build a team much faster today because I realized the mistake of having a limited amount of mental bandwidth and using it for the wrong reasons, or what I would say for something that someone else could do as well. And that's one of the things I would do differently. Thank you.